welcome. This is the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys. We have a series where we go through each of the states and introduce you to our fellows within those states, and also kind of generically go over the law in those states. And today we are covering Alabama. And we have two wonderful fellows to introduce you to. Ross, if you could please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ross Kinder. I am an attorney in Alabama and an art fellow. My practice is based mostly in assisted reproductive technologies relating to really all aspects, egg donor agreements, gestational surrogacy agreements, establishing parentage, obtaining birth certificates, and all things surrogacy related.
Wonderful. And Candace.
Good morning. Yes, I'm Candy Peoples. My legal name is Candace, but most of my friends and colleagues call me Candy. I am also an art fellow with the Quad A. I have been a practicing lawyer for about 23 years here in Alabama. My entire practice has been based in family law. That comprises both traditional areas of family law as well as a huge focus on assisted reproductive law. So I do the same sort of things that Ross mentioned. I've had he and I collaborate on quite a few cases representing intended parents and gestational surrogates, and enjoy working with Ross and doing this area of the law as well.
Wonderful. All right. So let's talk about Alabama. People come to the Academy website looking to see what states can they work in, not work in. So just to start with, what are there laws on the books in Alabama, or is it constructed through other family law statutes?
Well, as of today, there are not any statutes in Alabama relating to surrogacy and assisted reproduction matters, but I've been a member of a legislative committee for the past two and a half years. We've been drafting the statutes and hope to submit those to the Alabama legislature next year. But as for now, there's been a process that was put in place before I was here and before Candy was doing service-related matters by some retired fellows that really mirrors what the statutes are going to do relating to surrogacy in Alabama. But the gist is we are able to obtain parentage orders, birth certificates, gestational surrogacy, gestational carrier agreements are valid in Alabama, and there are a lot less restrictions or a lot less hoops to jump through than you may think for a state like Alabama. But we can do it, and we do it all the time. And like Candy said, we work together a lot, and I enjoy working with you as well, Candy. Do you have anything?
That's the best part about the Academy. Our fellows do like each other, so that's enjoyable.
Absolutely.
And we're about I don't know how far away our offices are, Candy. Maybe less than a half mile. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say not far. We're both here in Birmingham, so it makes it definitely more convenient. But yeah, I would just, again, Kim, to tag on what Ross said, I describe it when I'm working with agencies and intended parents and speaking with them about our state. We're like statute neutral, so meaning we don't have anything on the books, per se describing what the statutes are, but we also don't have anything prohibiting in it. So because of that, we are able to do these very, very efficiently, very effectively through our family courts, and do them in basic contract law principles. Our judges honor them. They honor the contracts that we draft and assist parties with, and you also use those to establish parentage with no problem, and I know you're probably going to get into this too, but in terms of same-sex parents, single parents, and all kinds of different kind of combinations. I don't want to get ahead of your agenda, but our landscape allows us to do everything here.
Great. Well, and those are some of the categories of people searching on the internet to see whether or not they're okay. But and then what about like your administrative process? we'll talk about parentage a little bit, but just the
Yeah.
speed of it, because a lot of people are going, well, how long will I have to be stuck in Alabama, right, after the birth, that type of stuff.
Well, so basically, Ross and I both tend to advise parties to start that parentage process about 20 weeks. And the main reason for that is, for myself personally, is it gets closer to viability and closer to when, we're going to make sure that if a baby is born, there will be a viable baby that will result. We have a pretty quick turnaround here in terms of those pre-birth orders. We do a pre-birth order and a post-birth order here. The pre-birth order we can get done. I usually say, the most of the work is actually just getting the paperwork signed between the parties.
It's getting the clients to get it to us. Yeah.
It's just getting it done. But when we submit it, Ross, I mean, what do you think? I mean, I usually see those pre-birth orders turned around within a week. I mean, rough and dirty.
I would agree with that. We can get a pre-birth order in about a week, which we provide a delivery hospital to make sure that the intended parents are treated as legal parents during the birth. Relating to after the birth and how long the intended parents could be here in Alabama, uh, for within the United States, if the intended parents are here locally, I mean in the United States, then they are able to travel outside of Alabama just with a post-birth order, and we can obtain that generally within about a week after the birth occurs. So getting back to your home state is not really a problem. Uh, with intended parents who are out of country, that generally takes a few extra steps with relation to certification of documents. Generally, all different countries have a requirement that the pre-birth or the post-birth order and a birth certificate either have a certification or apostille seal by the Secretary of State of Alabama. That takes a bit longer. So I advise if intended parents are coming to the birth, uh, 4 to 6 weeks before they would be able to fly back to their home country after birth. That can be shortened or lengthened just depending on, Candy and I can just do all we can do, but there are a lot of different governmental entities within Alabama that we're dealing with to get these documents correctly processed and with the correct seals on them so that intended parents from outside of the U.S. and outside of America can obtain citizenship in the home country, uh, in their home country.
I completely agree with Ross. I mean, we try to do it as expeditiously as possible and get it get things done on our timelines as fast as we can. But obviously, sometimes we have to wait on these agencies, and we my staff and myself all have contacts at different places to try to make contact and phone calls and urge these things to get moved down the pipeline, but sometimes we're at their mercy to get them done.
Right. Okay. And we haven't covered this in the other videos with the other states, but I feel like with Alabama, we kind of have to. We can't just, the elephant in the room, which is, are we past any concerns about keeping embryos in the state of Alabama? Are everybody doing better now? Back to balance?
Ross, I don't know if you want to take this. We didn't get a game plan, so I'm just trying to give us both time to talk.
I think so. The case to start everything up, it didn't really have the effect that everyone thought it was going to have, which was essentially death penalty in Alabama for surrogacy. It was
Yeah.
it was pretty. It only related to the status of embryos as human beings for the purpose of the wrongful death of children statute. So embryo, most of the cases that I handle, the embryos aren't created or stored or anything within Alabama. They're coming to me from out of state or out of country. But even for embryos in Alabama, it's not good. It hasn't affected. I don't believe it'll affect anything in the future relating to being able to obtain a parentage order establishing intended parents as legal parents, which is what the bottom line everyone wants to do. And is the most important factor of this, because that's the whole point. So nothing that I see coming down the line related to any backdraft from that case, but also nothing in the legislative statutes that we're going to submit is going to hamper the ability for intended parents to become legal parents in Alabama through surrogacy.
I agree. And we fielded quite a bit of calls, obviously, after that original case came out. And honestly, even as we work with that hospital on particular, my firm, as we work with that hospital on cases now, because babies are being born in that hospital, that we work with those folks and we're able to get everything we need done. They're being a little more protective about making sure that we have certified copies of documents and things like that. I think the lawyers are kind of looking at things a little harder. But
and
I agree.
the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think that obviously the original case that came out was terrifying for all of us, but the corrective mechanisms that were taking place afterwards, and basically the clarifying orders that came out regarding protecting of IVF and all that. I mean, our clinics are back open. People are getting IVF done here in Alabama. I agree with Ross, though, that when you're having your procedures done in Chicago or whatever, and your carrier is just delivering here, I don't believe that case had anything whatsoever to do with it. But I think you can still have treatment here in Alabama if you want. But again, I just don't think it has had any effect at all at this point on our business.
I appreciate you covering the hard question. I think it was just important to put out.
No, I think it's great.
It's, come to Alabama. It's okay.
Sure.
And if
We're open. Come on.
come on. And if you are, make sure you reach out to either Ross or Candy. It's, our fellows are vetted. We're not just, sign up and we're suddenly part of the academy. That means they have an extreme amount of experience, and we appreciate you joining us today. Most of you got to this video by going to the Academy's website, and under the state laws, under the map, you saw the video, but underneath that map, you'll find both Ross and Candy underneath there with their contact information. And if you are swimming through several states trying to figure out which one you want to utilize, we have the map. You can check out the different laws and the different videos for the different states. The website is adoptionart.org, and we appreciate both of you so much.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us too.